just to give you an overview or a bigger perspective on how things work. Okay? Just to reiterate, ito po. Everything starts with the clinical chart. Then you have the financial information. And then from the MGH order, you can derive the financial information, and the financial will be converted into a bill or a statement of account. Then, again, coming from the clinical chart, no, it will also create the clinical information and the non-clinical information. And this will be, okay, converted or encoded dapat in the following forms. Okay, you have the CSF, CF2, CF3, CF4, and you also have the lab results. Okay, if we add all the green boxes, these are now, okay, combine them all, yan ho yung claim ninyo, together with other required documents. So from there, you need now to transmit that to PhilHealth using e-claims. And once matanggap po ni PhilHealth, okay, if you will be paid, that's very good. Okay. Now, the problem here is that your claims may end up RTH denied or to legal if a lot of things are incorrect, incomplete, and inconsistent. Now, take note, outside of the blue box, or rather blue circle, sa labas ho na yan, okay, it's under the control of the hospital. Hindi ho yan kay PhilHealth. So anything in the blue, it's all about PhilHealth. Okay. So, it's quite simple. Now, I'll proceed claims principle number 6. Ito po. Number 6, basically, documentation is key. Now, so, again, documentation is very, very critical. So, start off with this, no? You have the patient, okay? The patient will provide the history, they will provide the signs and symptoms, and you need to do physical exam. Okay? So, this will all happen sa front end. Ito ho yung admitting ninyo, ER ninyo, okay? Now, from there, the doctor, okay, or the clinician need to translate, encode, type, or convert the information, put it in the clinical chart. Yung clinical chart po, now, will have all the information. Okay? Priority in the clinical chart, ang makikita ho dyan, is the clinical management of the doctor. Together with that, you now have the laboratories, you have the medicines that will be given to the patient. Okay? And of course, there is also the course in the ward. Okay? All of those things, okay, should be aligned with the clinical practice guideline. So yan ho ang kwento sa loob ng clinical chart. Now, from the clinical chart, you need now to transform it, encode it, transcribe, write it, okay, or whatever, okay, to the specific claim form. You have the claim form 4, claim form 3, claim form 2, CSF, and the SOA, or the statement of account. So, once they are prepared, you can then transmit it to PhilHealth. So, it's actually that simple. Now, the dilemma is this, okay? From the patient, okay, the history and the physical exam with the signs and symptoms, most of the time, okay, there is poor documentation. It is not documented properly to the clinical chart. That is when the claim ends up as RTH or denied. The ability of the doctor, okay, to document it to the clinical chart. Next, let us say the documentation is correct. Let us say the doctor did a perfect documentation transferring it to the clinical chart. Now, here's the thing. Ang isang problema, okay, your staff, or be it your resident, okay, may also have a problem because of the inability to transfer the information from the clinical chart, okay, and transfer it to the claim form 4. Or from the clinical chart, transfer it to the claim form 3. Mali. or sa claims office from the chart to a claim form 2, or okay, related to it the CSF and the SOA. If there is poor documentation from the clinical chart converting it into the claim form, your claims will not be paid. Either it will be an RTH or it will be denied. So, hindi ho ninyo maipapadala yan sa PhilHealth. So, documentation is key. Question, sino ba ang gumagawa ng documentation ninyo? Are they trained? Do they know the concept? So, yun ho ang kailangan balikan. Again, no less than COA identified that the problem, because there is poor payment of claims, okay? Take note ha, si COA po ay hindi PhilHealth. Si COA ay hindi din healthcare provider. Performance review ang ginawa ni COA. And they found out a lot of hospitals are not getting paid because of documentation. Where does this happen? It's there. The ability, okay, to transfer the information from the source to the clinical chart, from the clinical chart to the forms. So, pagpadala ho ninyo, problema. Okay? Now, question. Type document, or rather, yes, type documentation if naintindihan ho ninyo.